When you think of prison, you're probably thinking about some pretty harsh and borderline inhumane living conditions. Obviously, these conditions would vary from country to country. Prisons in Japan, though, are like no other prisons in the world. Japanese prisons follow very strict schedules. Talking is allowed, but only during exercise and free time. Oh, and inmates are only allowed to speak Japanese. Most inmates are put in community cells, which can hold anywhere between 6 to 12 inmates. The rooms are Japanese style, which means inmates sleep on Japanese futons and the flooring is tatami. Sometimes foreign inmates are placed separately in Western-style rooms with beds, or Japanese-style solitary cells. The general schedule is quite mundane, but if it isn't followed to a T, consequences will be harsh, which we'll look more into later. Prisoners will wake up at 6:45 a.m. sharp and have breakfast for an hour. Then comes work. For these prisoners, work basically takes up their entire day, spanning from 8 a.m. until 4:40 p.m., with just a few short breaks in between. Next comes dinner at 5 p.m. with 2 hours of free time. Finally, lights are out at 9 p.m. sharp, and the cycle continues. Prison work includes woodworking, printing, cooking, and cleaning, as well as vocational training aimed at obtaining qualifications that can be used after being released from prison. Inmates are paid for this work, and this money can be collected after being released. During free time, inmates are allowed to watch television, read books, and quietly chat with one another. However, these must all be done in Japanese. These rules can become problems for foreign prisoners, especially if they aren't fluent in the native language. Fuchu Prison is the location where the majority of foreign offenders will find themselves doing time in Japan. It's known for being notoriously strict, and aside from the foreigners, it also houses various members of the Yakuza. The well-known gangster Shinobu Tsukatsu Komicho did a 5-year sentence at Fuchu Prison, which ended in 2011 for violations of the swords and firearms law. Shinobu also enjoyed a 13-year sentence in the 1970s for murdering a fellow gang member with a samurai sword. There's a little fun fact for you. In December 2015, Fuchu Prison was the largest prison in Japan, holding about 2,086 prisoners. The cells in the prison are divided into 4 categories: normal prisoners, foreign prisoners, mentally ill prisoners, and physically disabled prisoners. Male foreign prisoners in Japan are usually housed at Fuchu Prison. Foreigners are incarcerated for various crimes, but all in single cells in 2 or 3 blocks. Although Japanese prisons in general are notoriously strict, to the point of garnering condemnation from multiple human rights groups,